What's up, y'all? Let me see who online before I talk my shit. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning on this live. What's up, y'all? Trigger warning. Giving it to y'all first. A lot of y'all, you already know. Trigger warning if you coming on here. Whoever said, oh damn, just get off. Just get off. It's best for your mental to just get off. Just get off, get off. Unique, DM me if you're trying to join the book club. Just DM me. DM me, DM me, DM me. No, I'm just letting y'all know. As y'all popping on this motherfucker, I'm just letting y'all know. Trigger warning. As you come on here, somebody said, oh damn. When I said that, just get off. Quick as you logged on, log off. It's better maybe if you watch it after. Sneak back on after I'm off. Somebody said, all I want for Christmas is a one-on-one. Speaking of that, right? Thank you for jumping us off. Yes, trigger warning. Speaking of that, right? There are a lot of y'all that what you need for Christmas is not a new car. You need to go ahead and scratch that off your list. It's not new outfits. It's not new shoes. It's not some trip. It's not the new iPhone. It's not, you know, any of that material stuff that y'all done wrote out and, you know, tried to speak into existence. It ain't none of that, right? You need fucking therapy. You need to go sign yourself up. You need to go register. You need to go book a therapist. You need to go find someone that you can sit down with in confidentiality and talk about the issues that you have going on with your mind, with your character, within you. Some of y'all, this holiday season needs to be about self-care. Some of y'all, this Christmas, this gift giving, you don't need to give nobody else nothing else. The fact that you've given them parts of you already that you shouldn't have gave away, you need to keep everything for Christmas and dump that shit back into yourself. It's some of y'all, I'm talking about y'all kids included. You done bought them every new iPad, outfits, every pair of Jordans that came out every month, all year long. And now it is time to give them kids a real gift. A parent that does not have emotions and depression and fucking postpartum and goddamn childhood trauma issues all over them as they try to overcompensate and people please towards the child with material shit. The kids deserve some sort of gift that's going to actually put them in a predicament where they are not experiencing ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. Some of y'all, this is what you need to do for the holiday season. You need to put some effort, some money, some time, some sort of focus into your fucking character. It's a lot of y'all, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave is what you need to work on as a gift to yourself, as a gift to the family that you're creating, as a gift to the children that you've made. You need to put some effort into the way that you think, the way that you feel, and the way that you behave. Guess what that equals? All three of those together. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave, that's character. Look it up. You gotta read. That's what reading does. It puts you in a space where you realize, right, I need to work on my character. Let me understand the definition of what character is, how I think, how I feel, and how I behave, right? That determines why my life looks the way I look. And where I got my thinking, right, the process in which I evaluate and take in life in different situations, I got that from my upbringing. I got that from my early life experiences with people. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? Some of y'all, this is what you need to focus on for the holidays. I don't give a fuck if you book a one-on-one with me by texting the number in my bio. You need to pay someone to sit down and help you sort out what the fuck is going on behind your eyes. That needs to be your fucking Christmas gift. Not another fucking pair of shoes, not another purse, not another belt, sir, not another bag, not another motherfucking pair of Jordans or designer shoes, not any of that other material shit, not the new iPhone, not no new computer. You need a fucking therapy session. Now that I'm sure all of y'all clear on that, let me say this, right? There are a lot of y'all that within this past year, opportunities have become available for you. Doors have opened in front of you. Things have aligned for it to be the best moment, if there's ever going to be a such thing, for you to move on certain things. When I'm saying certain things, I'm talking about self-care things, like setting boundaries, like getting organized with your finances, such as cleaning up your credit, creating multiple streams of income, cleaning up your circle, creating an environment where you are able to talk different, think different, behave different, develop a certain level of character, right? Getting around beings that are on a higher vibration than what you're used to. Opportunities have become available for you to cut certain people out of your life. Opportunities have become available for you to allow new people into your life, to build new relationships, to create new connections, right? These things are going on. But because y'all got certain traumas and certain shit that you can't let go based on not seeing about yourself, you've missed said opportunities. You've overlooked said opportunities. You didn't know said opportunities were actually in front of you. There are a lot of y'all that shit has lined up. Now is the time. And when I'm saying line up, see, y'all think I'm talking about shit just looking great and good and it being a beautiful day. Nah, when I'm saying shit has lined up, it's when you get to that point where your life is looking rough, so rough, right? In certain areas that you don't have any choice, right? If you were thinking logically, you would see that this is shit. And instead of trying to dress up shit or rearrange shit or put a blanket or a sheet over shit or dress up shit, right? I need to get rid of this. This is the perfect opportunity for me to open the door and kick this shit out. This is the perfect opportunity for me to rearrange how I'm going about things, who I'm talking to, who I'm not talking to, what I'm doing with my time outside of work. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? Absolutely. It's a lot of y'all, like, you putting sugar on shit. And what you need to understand is that shit stinking more and more because it is the perfect opportunity. It is reeking of the time is now. That shit loud. You ever smell some loud? That shit is loud right now in y'all life. That now is the time. Now, let me tell you why you're overlooking it. Let me tell you why you're putting sugar on shit. Let me tell you why you're giving it yet another chance. Let me tell you why prior to hopping on this live, you was unwilling to talk about this shit and confront it. A lot of y'all, you got trauma from childhood and early life experiences that you did not see about. And it has, it has you attracted to poverty. It has you attracted, right? You don't feel like you deserve any better than what you have while saying that you deserve better than what you have. It has you attracted to drama. It has you attracted to anxiety. It has you in a space where you are so familiar with these fucked up ass feelings that you sit in them willingly. You are making a choice. Because see, when you don't make a choice, you actually making a choice. Meaning when you don't get up and decide to take action, you are actually deciding to leave things the way that they are. And a lot of y'all, you need to be honest with yourself. I'm attracted to this shit. This is why I sit in it so well. I make it look so good. You attracted to them late notices. You attracted to that drama coming through your phone. You attracted to all that fighting and death and bullshit coming through the motherfucking phones. You're attracted to that family drama. You have a space of, ooh, what's the tea for this kind of shit? Right? And this is why you can't see that everything is aligned. It's the perfect time, baby, for you to actually organize and get the fuck up out of there. Organize and move the fuck on. Organize and receive new into your life. You can't do that because that trauma is on you. You unwilling to talk about the real shit. Let me go a little bit deeper because some of y'all saying, Let me help you out. Things like, and I'm going to go, psychology for a second, as I always do, right? And then I'm going to break it down real hood, right? In the psychology world, right, there is the idea or the concept or the theory or the truth of abandonment issues, right? And often when people think about abandonment issues, they think about an absent person, right, being physically left. But a lot of y'all don't realize one of the number one contributing factors to people being adults with abandonment issues, right, stems from being emotionally or mentally abandoned. Feelings being abandoned. Feelings being overlooked or not validated. So it's a lot of y'all, regardless of what the structure of your upbringing looked like, regardless of how strong you feel like your mama was, regardless of how much both parents were or were not around, a lot of y'all don't realize whether I came from a single parent household or whether I came from a two-parent household. As an adult, I have to evaluate if I have, for example, abandonment issues. You want to know why? Because from a space of psychology, things like abandonment issues leave you in a space where you lack self-care, right? You will put on and aim to please other people. Even while y'all dressed up saying you don't care about what somebody else thinks or if that nigga stay or if that bitch still fuck with you or not, right? Your inner traumas will have you behaving in a way where because you have these abandonment issues where your feelings, your emotions, your mental was never actually validated as something that matters, you don't actually look at it as something that matters. So guess what? You moving through life and you picking people and relationships that support the same dysfunctional ass shit from your childhood. Some of y'all grew up in very controlled environments, but you did not realize it. What I mean by that is you were never allowed to think for yourself. It was always do what they told you to do. Do what mama said do. Do what such and such said do. So now when you get out in the real world and you realize life requires critical thinking. It requires for me to evaluate situations and assess, process them against how it makes me feel, and then decide how I want to act. You can't do it. You can't do it. So when you hear me talk about things like opportunities in front of me for me to go move on them, all you have to weigh them against is your emotions. And so if you're having a bad day, you ain't gonna move on it. Tomorrow, if somebody else's issues come up and they bring them to you like they always do because you have no boundaries and you have these people-pleasing traits, you're going to prioritize helping them or prioritize what you heard about their story. And this day won't be the day that you move on these opportunities because now you consume with somebody else's shit. And sometimes that somebody else is your own mama, it's your daddy, it's your cousin, them, it's all them people you was just eating Thanksgiving dinner with. It's a lot of y'all, you lack the adult discipline mentally to be able to wake up and say, you know what? I matter. And because I matter, other people are going to have to take the back door to what I need to fix for myself, to what I need to work on for myself, things that I need to deal with myself. Remember, as you grow up, you realize my job is to develop character, because a lot of what I was left with from my upbringing, right, created the poor character traits that I have now. Some of y'all got work ethic and that's all you got, and baby, that's not enough. Some of y'all, you don't have work ethic, but you got people skills, right? So much in regards to dealing with people and being the life of the party and gaining eyes on you and their attention that you are attracted to that and just that. So your currency is actually attention from people, and you will do whatever, whenever, with whomever to keep feeding yourself that, to keep getting paid. Remember, everybody working gonna get motherfucking paid. It just depends on what you're working at in regards to what you're going to get paid. Is everybody keeping up so far before I go any deeper? Everybody understand what I'm explaining? It's a lot of y'all, you don't realize, right? Therapy is the next thing you need to buy. Right? A counseling session is the next thing you need to book. Because the way that you are going about your life, and I ain't talking about the life that you show everybody else. Baby, I'm way past that. I'm not talking about what y'all get on these apps and the face you put on when you went to the family Thanksgiving dinner yesterday. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, or Thursday, excuse me. I'm talking about the actual person that you have to sit with when them problems come in, when you have yet self-sabotaged another situation in your life, right? Them situations that y'all sweep under the rug, and you got that behavior from your upbringing because it was so much stuff that the adults that raised you, your caregivers, swept under the rug, including a lot of the trauma and things that went on with you. It was a lot of y'all, you experienced drama, right? As a child, as an adolescent, as a teen, as a young adult, you experience poverty, you experience sexual trauma, you experience drama, you experience gossip. But they told you this stuff was grown folk business. It wasn't called what it actually was. And so now that you're grown, you think these things are just grown folk business. But in all reality, when it was going on when you was a child, you were actually affected by this shit, right? There are things about your character, your beliefs, the way that you process the world that came from this shit. But they told you it was grown folk shit, didn't discuss none of it with you, even though you were going through it as they were going through it because you didn't have a choice, right? So now you grown and you overlook and sweep a lot of shit under the rug because that is what you were taught. There were certain things that you could see was going on. Maybe mama was on her third or fourth nigga within this very year. Maybe you've been checked out. Maybe you don't know why daddy ain't around, or maybe you seeing certain shit go on with aunties and uncles, certain things that it's directly affecting you because you're involved, but no one talked to you about it. No one validated your mental, the thoughts that you were having that was telling you to be curious, investigate, get an understanding. Hey, this doesn't feel right. Nobody gave a fuck about that. You know why? Because they told you as long as you was clothed, as long as you was fed, as long as we bought you some toys for Christmas, you got a roof over your head, suck it up, you're all right. And that is why now as an adult, all you give a fuck about is just that basic stuff. Let me just make sure I pay my bills. Let me go to work. Let me buy the new iPhone. Let me get these new designer shoes. And if I got that, I'm all right. So even though I'm depressed, or I might be suffering from postpartum, or I might be having these suicidal thoughts, or I might be in a space where I feel shame and guilt inside. I might be in a space where I cannot keep positive human connection. But you know what? None of that matters, because you know what mama and them said? As long as I was fed, it was a roof over our head, and they had a bed in that room for us to lay down. Like when stuff was going on, we was all right, even though your mind telling you that you're not all right. Y'all keeping up? See where you get some of this shit from? When you get grown and you just get on autopilot, and then when you think about it, when you were pushed through, right, the public education institutional system, right, where they create workers, all that does is just back this. So when there's the dysfunction at home, especially when you look at our culture and there is the breakdown of our families, and then at school, you are just being programmed to be a worker. The bell rings, ding, that's your cue to move on to the next class. You do this for 12 years straight. As an adult, you develop that same mindset for the clock. It goes off, 9 o'clock, head to work. 5 o'clock, it goes off, get off, go back home. You're on this schedule with your kids, extracurricular activities, and that is it. In between, you do what you can to try to manage yourself. There's no real season of you taking advantage of the opportunities that will allow you to become the being that you're supposed to be. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? Everybody on the same page before I go any deeper? Anybody not understand? Just making sure, looking at y'all like y'all looking at me, making sure everybody on the same page before I go any deeper. Okay, it seems like we all on the same page, right? So now let me say this, right? When you get to a point where you realize, okay, you know what? It's some shit with me that I need to work on, because I can tell that when opportunities present itself for me to clean up the shit around me, move into new rooms, climb to new levels, I'm slow to move on that, right? There is an anxiety or a fear of the unknown in a space of doing different than what I'm doing now, right? But I'm not okay with how I'm doing now. When I realize this and I accept this and I understand I need to work on me, one of the first things you gotta do is make a fucking list, right, of the people that right now are supportive to change and those who are not. And y'all be knowing off top without asking nobody, without putting even deep thought into it. It's a lot of y'all, you already know the answer to this question. Who's on your list of people that you got to get the fuck about your life? That you got to create a new standard of dealing with them. That you got to set some boundaries for. Now, keep in mind, if you got these people-pleasing issues, if you got these issues to where my emotional management, right? My management of self in regards to my feelings, right, is an issue. This is going to take focus. It's going to take work. Doesn't matter how hard it is, it's necessary, right? I have a saying, the people in my book club, they know I say this, right? It never matters how hard some shit is. It matters how necessary it is. And a lot of y'all, this is the part that you have to actually shift one of them paradigms you got in regards to putting in effort or focus on something. So let me say it like this again. It never matters how hard some shit is or about to be, right? It matters how necessary that shit is. So if you're in a space where you realize it is necessary for me to build on my character, change some things about the way my life is going because I'm not okay with it, right? I need to make that list of people that are not going to be supportive of me changing. It's a lot of y'all, you got motherfuckers in your family, you got motherfuckers in your household that when you do anything different than what you've been doing over the years, it's a problem. You damn near doing something to them. They don't like it. They can't understand it. They don't agree with it. They don't understand where you get it from. And because of that, it's going to be a problem. And if you know, like I know, if these are people that you actually care about, guess what's going to happen? They're going to manipulate you into feeling like, I don't need to do this. This is not that necessary. This is why a lot of y'all start self-care work. This is why a lot of y'all start that shadow work. This is why a lot of y'all write it out, or when the new year comes, you begin this space in your mind of manifesting this new version of you. And within a month or a couple months, some of y'all don't last a week, you back to the same old shit. Because there are people around you, family members, friends, workers, right? Business partners, that they are going to manipulate you into not changing a fucking thing. And when you got these abandonment issues, when you got certain things with your character, right? Character meaning but the way you think, which is your beliefs, your feelings, right? And the way you behave. When you got certain shit from childhood and early life experiences that was fucked up, right, or not positive weighing on you, you won't even realize you being manipulated into not changing. It's a lot of y'all, as you set boundaries, the motherfuckers around you make you feel like your boundary is doing something to them. And what that is them ultimately telling you is that what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking about the change you making for yourself matters more than the change you making for yourself. It's a lot of y'all, you can't even establish a time to put these motherfucking phones down because there's somebody in your life that's going to get mad at you if you don't text back or call back. Some of y'all, you the motherfucking problem. You the person that you can't put your phone down because from a people-pleasing space or a space of feeling like this is how I'm going to keep the control or the feelings pacifier that I matter to somebody, the way that I'm going to keep this, solid to myself is that I got to make sure at this time of night or this time in the morning, this person is going to be able to receive my calls or reply back to my texts. And you don't realize you got yourself in a space where you can't even get off of these devices enough to decide what you really want for yourself. When you grow up mentally, you realize nonstop all day long on these apps, I am being fed a certain narrative about life, right? And if I really want to be in control of my life, I got to log off, sit down, and decide what I want for myself. Outside of this material shit, outside of a nigga or a bitch, outside of a friend or a family member, what do I want in this life? Because I ain't gonna get no another one. You don't get a repeat on this life. A lot of y'all, you can't get out of bitch face, off the phone with a bitch, off the internet from looking at a bitch, off a nigga page, out of nigga DMs, out of them text messages, off a bitch voicemail. You can't even prioritize your time off a bitch job for you to sit down and decide what you want to do for yourself. So you still running off of the kid agenda that your parents gave you when they was going through their shit trying to rear you. You ain't made a decision yet for your fucking life. And you don't even realize it. I'm going to tell y'all, a lot of y'all, especially as black men, bro, this is one of y'all biggest problems. Without purpose, this world going to run the fuck out of a man. Without purpose said over your life, spoken by you, understood by you, mapped out by you, right? From a space of knowing your beliefs, right? Spiritual, mental, emotional, characterized, having some sort of logic or understanding for, here are my rules for myself as a man. Fuck what a bitch talking about. Fuck what your mama was talking about. Fuck what your daddy was talking about. You as a man, at your big age, when you look around this motherfucker and you receive in how this shit work, you got to have a moment where you decide, here is what I'm going to focus on. Here are my rules, my level of discipline. It can be different from other niggas. It's supposed to be different from females, right? But if you ain't sat with yourself as a grown man and said, hey, bro, hey, nigga, hey, king, hey, God, this is how we gonna behave, right? This world will run your motherfucking ass. Online, literally, ass will have you running. You will be in question with how you're supposed to behave with men and with women. This is why a lot of y'all crashing the fuck out. You don't have no said purpose for your life. And this is outside of your children. This is outside of what a bitch telling you. I don't give a damn if you marry. You have to decide as a man, right? What am I going to be on? And then go take that back to your helpmate, right? For her to help you with what you're building for your life, i.e. y'all life. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? It's a lot of y'all women. Because you don't value this kind of shit. And you value $1. You value them looks. You value what it looked like a nigga got. Y'all got to follow me, right? As a woman, we not taught this. It's a lot of y'all young girls, right? This the type of page your ass need to be on. Because I'm going to tell your ass the truth, right? When you get so into vanity with yourself, you will then only look at that in other people. Now, when I'm saying this, you got to keep up, right? So with myself, if all I worry about is how some shit look, right? How this shit is dressed up for y'all, I start to attract people on that same vibration where when it comes down to the men I date, the men that I allow to go up in me raw, the females I sit up with, everybody's on a surface level, vanity ass, very minute thinking process. This is where they at, right? Everything they process is from a space of how some shit look. And so guess what? Your life starts to be just that. About looks. And then when you bust that shit open, behind the curtain, behind the makeup, behind the wigs, behind the waist trainers, behind the BBL jobs, behind the relationships, behind the children, right? It's a lot of dysfunction. It's a lot of stuff left unattended to. You ever heard the saying, get your house in order? When you hear people that is really on some grown shit say this, bro, we talking about this. We talking about this. We talking about in here. We not talking about going to the house, getting that Swiffer mop out, and half mopping that motherfucking floor. That's not what we talking about. We not talking about washing no dishes, bleaching down the tub. We not talking about organizing them dirty clothes that you didn't wash. When a bitch say get your house in order, bitch, we talking about what you look for in yourself as a woman, and then what you look for in the people you allow around you. The power that we hold, right, as women, for a lot of y'all, see, your mama didn't tell you this. It ain't got shit to do with being independent. It has everything to do with holding true to what you are, which is a feminine, nurturing creature, a powerful being, right, that grows life inside of you when fertilized, right? A person that I am the giver, the tone setter of positivity, of what it means to have a house turned into a home, what it means to have a entity that attracts, right? It's a lot of y'all, you chasing, and baby, that ain't what we supposed to do. Baby, you chasing niggas, you chasing money, you chasing attention, baby, you chasing them relationships with them damn babbit ass females that don't mean you no well. Baby, you chasing stuff that this is why it's running you ragged. It's running you ragged. You got to get your house in order. You got to look at yourself and say, same as I said to the men, character-wise, what? Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? Character-wise, as a woman, what are my do's? What are my don'ts? What are my deal breakers? Because don'ts and deal breakers are two different things. A deal breaker, you walk right in, baby. A lot of y'all don't got them. You got these things that occur that you don't call it a don't, right? Because you ain't established this shit up front when you first saw the signs. And it ain't a deal breaker because you ain't leaving. You just raising hell. And then y'all call this being a ride or die. And what happens is, at the end of all this shit, something died, right? And it was your motherfucking spirit. It was your sanity. It was your ability to be able to discern. It was your intuition as a woman. It was your femininity. All that shit dead. It died, baby. Because you ain't have no don'ts and you ain't have no motherfucking deal breakers. And see, this is the stuff that when you are raised in a household out of love, right? Love, logic, nurturing, real rearing to prepare you for the world, somebody would have told you this, because you have to have these as a woman. This determines the standard in which a man approaches you from. Y'all got these beliefs, right? Y'all got these philosophies. Y'all got this shit that's been programmed and drilled into you from your life experiences with them fucked up ass niggas that you pick based on, you know, them beliefs from your fucked up ass upbringing that men just are not capable. They can't do. All niggas ain't shit. This is not that. But talk to a woman with some standards. Talk to a woman that has an attraction to character. Take a look at the life of a female that actually approaches situations with men as prospects for dating or potential people to allow access to their life, right? To some women like this, right? How you will see niggas step the fuck up. This is why a lot of y'all heartbroken right now. Because you couldn't understand why that nigga was doing you the way he was doing you. And when you left him alone, finally, or when he left you alone, finally, he went and did all the shit you was trying to get him to do for you for another woman. And see, y'all be listening to them bitches pages that sit up and tell y'all, he left you, or you, when you left him, the reason why he found somebody else is because he found a woman that was weaker, and that occurs. But in a very small percentage in comparison to what I'm talking about. A lot of times y'all don't realize over time, you've let your guards down and developed a sense of no standards at all. Some of y'all, you already started at 0. And so by the end of the relationship, y'all at a negative 45. Right? That means that nigga could do anything to you. Anything. Like, we passed the level of like, oh my God, don't do that. We're at like, oh, she's letting him do that and running behind him while he's doing that. Right? And from this space of baby daddy, baby mama culture and all the niggas ain't shit that y'all been fed, you just tell yourself relationship after relationship, everything is a nigga fault. But in all reality, when you talk to women that have standards, we ain't never blaming a motherfucker that didn't make the cut for whatever the fuck we went through. We never doing that, baby. I'm never. Because every bit of access you get to me, you had to earn it. So whatever level I left your ass on or we parted ways on, you earned your way up to that point. So I ain't bitter about a fuck thing. It's no reason to. If the nigga made it to level 5, access to certain parts of me that a nigga on level 1 couldn't get, he earned his way there. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? Some of y'all, it's 2 books y'all need to read. This is why you ought to be in my book club. So I'll lace you up with them hoes. They'll get your mind right as a young woman, as an older woman, as a crazy woman, bitch, as a woman that's trying to change, a woman that don't want to change. When you really take in the knowledge, it will make you realize how necessary it is. It's levels to this shit. Literally. If you see me with a nigga and we done made it to this particular stage, like I'm doing this and this, best believe, baby, he earned that. And if at any given moment he does something to unearn that shit, I'm not finna be running around like it's the end of the world and he just did me so wrong. And no. Because see, this is a reflection of how life works, right? You only keep what you can manage. You only keep what you can manage. The same way some of y'all can work hard and earn a nice lifestyle, the minute you don't manage that shit, baby, you could lose it all. It's the same for dating. It's the same for dating in relationships. A bitch supposed to be earning that. I done been telling y'all this for years. And it go vice versa. I've been giving y'all the job analogy forever. These people ain't hiring y'all and giving y'all all the benefits up front. They giving you that 90-day period. Well, we evaluate and watch your ass for X amount of days to make sure that you display the character traits and the qualities that we feel like you have for this job, that you can do it before we give you access to the vacation days and the 401k and, you know, the medical benefits and the dental benefits and the vision and shit. Like, we ain't giving everything off top around this motherfucker. You got to come in and work alongside what's already going on and show that within this structure or institution that already exists, right, you contribute value. You can get on board. Y'all be mad at a nigga for some shit y'all allowed. So now back to what I was saying. It's a lot of y'all for the holidays, for Christmas, right? For this new season of gift giving, you need to give yourself, y'all. You need to give yourself the gift of therapy. You need to give yourself the gift of therapy. You need to get you one in. Some of y'all, you need it now. You don't even need to wait till Christmas. You need it now. It's a lot of y'all, you done watched all this content all 2024 about narcissism and gaslighting and love bombing. And now you going through life. You ain't never read a DSM-5, took a psychology class. You don't know shit about the actual definitions and processes in which to diagnose anybody of anything. But you going around using this verbiage, and a lot of the shit is a reflection of what is wrong with you. A lot of y'all, you don't realize we in the day and age when this shit started, where especially in our community, families were separated, where everybody being raised by a woman, right? A lot of y'all don't realize you were raised by a narcissist. Everything was about control, and they made it about them, down to the accomplishments that you got in your life. Some of y'all young men don't even realize everything you do, the reason why your mama bring her big wide ass in every photo and every video trying to take credit for the things that you have accomplished in your life is because there is a level of narcissistic behavioral patterns and traits within her. But y'all just taught to only say these words when a nigga fuck up. This is why you need to go to therapy, so somebody can talk some sense into you from a space of understanding. Don't use words that you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Don't try to diagnose people when you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We in a day and age where there are more women trying to cope with the lack of control and inability to work as a team, that it shows up in them as narcissistic behavioral patterns, traits, beliefs, very self-absorbed. Very much everything got to be their way or they're going to act crazy and make you feel bad, and then you come back apologizing for some shit that you did not do. Very much have to be the narrator of the story. Very much want to tell you their side and your daddy's side and don't want you to ask nobody else. Very much offended when you go out and start your own family as a young man. Very much in competition with your wife. It's a lot of y'all, you don't realize this. It's a lot of us as women, you don't realize, like, we're repeating these same traits. And baby, they don't nurture a good home. Baby, they don't nurture positivity. Go to therapy. Invest in some shit that's going to help you grow your mind, because all else will come. When you really get your house in order, right? When you start to organize things, shit line up across the board. How people treat you, because you change what you allow. You will change the standard in which you coexist with other people, right? You start to operate from a space of your time being more valuable to you. And so when people see you move a certain way with your shit, meaning your time, your feelings, the way that you are about your life, they come in and step alongside you that same way. And if they cannot keep up or maintain, guess what? You won't keep in your life what you cannot manage. They won't keep in their life what they cannot manage. A lot of things work itself out. A lot of things start to make sense about life when you get your house in order. It starts with your mind, your character, the way that you think, your behavior, your feelings. Now, when you, that's a good question. When you get online and you go to looking for a therapist, right? A lot of y'all don't know this. First, you have to pick a therapist that there is not some giant cultural gap, right? You got to go look for somebody that, depending on who you are, like where you come from, what your race is, what your spiritual beliefs are, you have to find somebody that there's not going to be this giant cultural gap, right? The second thing is you have to go in on a certain point, meaning you have therapists that specialize in relationship counseling. You have therapists that specialize in grief, right? You have therapists that they specialize in childhood trauma. You have therapists that they specialize in depression. You have therapists that they specialize in certain areas to where you need to sit down, right? And I told y'all first, make a list of the people that really don't belong in my life if I say that I want to make change, right? And a lot of times when you make that list, immediately you're going to get triggered and realize, okay, here's the point I want to start therapy on. Let me start doing my research, right? And looking up a therapist or some sort of counseling to where I can go in on this particular point. When you go in on that one point, you're not going to stay on that one point throughout your entire journey. But what will happen is when you get clarity on this one point, a lot of times other things that are trauma or demons or shit that's in your dark skeletons in your closet, that shit will come up, and then you can pivot in therapy to somebody else that specializes, or if that therapist that you're using does it all in regards to those issues, you can stick with that one. Do y'all understand that? And I'm glad somebody said emotional detachment, because there are a lot of us that we are so engulfed with our feelings all the time that anything that we are emotionally attached to, we can't let go. We can't let go. And this shit will kill you. It will kill you physically, mentally, emotionally. It is murder. Not to be taken lightly. When you in a space where my emotions run 80 to 90% of what I do, what I say, how I act, how I think, and I got myself tied to a lot of people that aren't for me, or a lot of situations that aren't doing well for my life. They are not to be brought with me. That shit will kill you. This is why I'm always talking about management of emotions for male or female. As a man, you will crash the fuck out. You will pick the wrong bitches. You will get in a space where you become undisciplined with your sex. This will lead to you having babies left and right with women that don't give a fuck about you and don't understand the value of what a real mother is, or nurturing a family, not attracted to co-parenting, very much attracted to control, always blaming a nigga for everything, swearing that everything is a baby daddy's fault. You will fuck your life up, bro, with this shit. For women, you will end up in a space where you are vulnerable, right, to the point where you will be hypersexual and end up in these same predicaments like I'm talking about with the dudes, where you got more children than what you can logically care for. Not just from a money space, because a lot of y'all have been, bred and programmed to believe everything is all right if you buying all the kids a certain amount of stuff. I'm going to tell y'all something. Baby, if you don't listen to nothing I've ever said, listen to this. I talk to grown men and women of all different races and ages on a daily basis, trying to sort through their adult shit. 90% of these people's issues come from a fucked up upbringing. And I don't mean that it all looks the same fucked up. What I mean is there are things psychologically. Most of the issues have nothing to do with their parents being able to buy them some shit or not. It has to do with psychological things. Stuff they found out as an adult that their mother or father lied to them about during their upbringing. Things that they are realizing about how the world works that their parents did not tell them, but they told them a bunch of other stupid shit repeatedly. things about themselves that they are incapable of controlling based on thinking that this behavior was okay because they saw certain caregivers that behave that way. And it has nothing to do with blaming, right? The parents or the upbringing. But when you understand psychology, when you understand science, when you understand the way that humans work with our behavior, the way our brain develops when we are young, you understand this shit is a direct correlation of one another, right? So it has nothing to do with blame. It has every bit of understanding where you got this shit from. These problems that are hindering you from being able to go at your life the way that you want to, right? Understanding where you got this from and then being able to rid yourself of this shit in this season of your life so you could do better. So you could do better. So you could do better. Not to blame. Not to give a fuck about how the other people feel. It is to recognize this is the cause. And if I don't want this for myself, I got to get rid of this. And a lot of times this requires you to challenge beliefs, which will change the way that you think, to manage your emotions, which will change the way that you feel about shit, and thus that will change your behavior. Yay! This is building character. Y'all understand what I'm explaining? Do y'all really? I'm looking at y'all like y'all looking at me. Trying to see what's going on. Do y'all genuinely understand? Bro, I talk to so many grown people, grown men in the streets, out the streets, corporate, fucking police officers, firefighters, motherfucking everybody, right? It is a common thing that when people realize in my adult life, I don't like the way things are looking for me on the backside of what the public can't see, they have to go back into the shit they were exposed to. A lot of y'all don't realize by age 5 to 7, a individual child has already developed a solid sense of beliefs as far as how to behave. And it's a bitch to rear or change that shit. If a lot of y'all understand what I'm communicating, if by age 5 to 7, right, some of y'all who are a little bit late in regards to paying attention or developing, if you are already set with the groundwork, think about building a house, right? Or building some sort of structure. You start from the ground up. Blocks ain't just gonna sit in the air, right? And the foundation in which you start on plays a role in whether your shit gonna stand the higher up you go. So the older you get, if your shit is set on a bunch of fucked up ass beliefs and principles about life and the way the world works, when you get 10, 19, 25, 31, 35, 40, this structure gets weaker as you get older. Y'all be thinking automatically downloads happen as you get older, like these goddamn iPhones where they just update the iOS or the fucking Windows or the goddamn Google whatever, and it just starts operating up to speed with the age. That is not the way this shit works. If your motherfucking foundation fucked up from how your mammy or your daddy or your grandma or your auntie and them raised you, right, that dysfunction will show up as you build every new level. And for a lot of people that I talk to, that bitch done came crashing down. And they trying to figure out, damn, I know I'm fucking, I did the drywall right, and bitch, when I got to the second story, I followed the instructions on this, and bitch, I know what the fuck I know how to build. I'm putting in the right shit, but it's certain stuff that just keep resurfacing. It just keep resurfacing. You ever seen somebody try to build or cover up fucking water damage to some shit? The bottom of this shit done been flooded. Right? So the foundation weak around this motherfucker. And you steady stacking on top. You getting older. You adding more bills. You add more stuff to your life. Bringing more people around in this motherfucker. Then you look up and this bitch trembling. the walls like they about to fall in. But you knowing you bought top quality material for this flow. But see, your mama and your daddy and the people that raised you help you build that bottom flow. You didn't build that bitch with the same principles and materials and things that you trying to build the second and the third flow with. That shit coming crashing the fuck down. You got to go back and evaluate what the fuck was put into that concrete slab, where y'all laid the motherfucking posts. Like, you got to get down to the motherfucking groundwork. Some of y'all, a motherfucker had you set on ground that you ain't even supposed to be building on this shit. Some of y'all understand in construction, it's certain pieces of land you can buy. You can't even build on that shit. When they evaluate it, the soil is not right. Message. Y'all need to go to therapy. It's a lot of y'all for this Christmas season, baby. Don't buy no jewelry. Don't buy no new purse. Them kids don't need all that expensive ass shit. Save some of that money to go set yourself up to talk to somebody about what is going on in your mind. A lot of y'all as men, especially black men, babe, I'm telling you from a space of love. I'm telling you from a space of love gonna tell your ass what's real. Go see about yourself, bro. Go see about yourself, bro. Go see about yourself in ways that you never have, and every bitch that you stuck your dick up in has never cared to. Go see about yourself, bro. Go get clarity and understanding to where you can look at you in the mirror and say that regardless of what I've done so far, I decide, right, what my life is going to be moving forward, right? And I am going to think and feel and behave in ways that as a man, I'm concerned about making myself proud. I'm going to tell you another thing coming from a bad bitch. It is a very attractive thing when you come in contact with or you meet a man, especially a black man, that has confidence in himself. And I ain't talking about the kind of confidence that y'all be used to. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about confidence in his ability to make decisions, build for himself, decide in what direction he wants to go, and with confidence and discipline, knowing this is oozing from him that I'm gonna follow through. Not because a bitch want me to follow through, not because somebody told me I gotta do it for these kids, or no, because as a man, my ethics, my integrity, the purpose I laid out for myself, the rules that I made for myself say that this is what I'm gonna stick to, and this is the direction that I'm gonna go in. And baby, you gonna get you a helpmate. You gonna get you one. For me to y'all, man, I'm going to leave the live up because I seen some of y'all say, leave the live up. I'm going to leave the live up on my YouTube channel. So y'all make sure y'all go to YouTube. If you click the link in my bio, the link is actually in my bio. Anybody that's trying to book a one-on-one, text the number in my bio, 678-965-06. 678-965-0698. Also, if you try to join my book club, just DM me. Now, I'm very selective about my book club because we meet a lot during the month. I don't fuck off in the energy and the vicinity of people that are not trying to genuinely improve themselves. With the beginning of the year, my investment group is going to be opening up. This is for those of y'all that already got your credit fixed. You already understand credit funding. We get into the money. We buying up shit, baby. Right? It's only for those individuals. Some of y'all that ain't there yet, it's fine. Right? You got time to get yourself together. It never matters if it's going to be hard. It matters if it's necessary. Book club. I see y'all in the book club meeting tomorrow. We're going to discuss that motherfucking movie because, baby, that bitch is triggering. Y'all make sure y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day.